Do women face challenges when participating in decision-making processes? Are there any differences in the women's and men roles in sustainable development? Hi, my name is Anastasia. I'm a psychologist and coach, the author of Eco-Being Training, which helps companies to achieve their sustainability goals. Today, we continue to explore a part of social sustainability, such as gender equality and women's role in sustainable development. I will tell you key findings from McKinsey study on gender inequality. Then we'll speak about how gender parity and environmental sustainability are related. And finally, I will tell you if a person's gender affects his work with environmental sustainability. Let me first briefly tell you about some findings in McKinsey annual study on gender inequality in the United States. According to the study, women executives are just as eager as men at their level to be promoted and aspire to management positions. In many companies, they face microaggressions that undermine their authority and send the message that it will be harder for them to get promoted. For example, they are much more likely than men in management positions to be told by colleagues that they are unqualified. Female executives are also more likely to report that personal characteristics such as gender, race, or parental status played a role in denying them a promotion. In our part of the planet in Europe, we also witness some of the identified trends. For example, a serious increase in the number of women leaving companies that do not support a culture of equality, inclusion, and diversity. Women more than ever have started to stand up for social sustainability. Over the past 2 years, they are more than 1.5 times more likely than men at their level to quit. Therefore, women want to work for a company that is more committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Women are more inclusive and empathetic leaders. For example, employees with female managers are more likely to say that their manager checks in on their well-being, helps them manage their workload, and promotes inclusive team behavior. According to the McKinsey report, female leaders are overworked and under-recognized, as in most companies, their efforts are not officially rewarded. Psychologically, this is also because women often hope that others will see their contributions and acknowledge them for their hard work, instead of actively advocating themselves. They tend to put daily work before career, expecting their performance and loyalty to be noticed and rewarded. Gender inequality plays a role in women's self-perception. Society has certain expectations, and we often adjust to them, even unconsciously. We automatically conform to the expectations of the reference group we identify with. It is important to pay attention to this. We shouldn't wait for the expectations of others to change, but act in accordance with our personal mission and values. Interestingly, the factors that drive current female leaders to leave their companies are even more significant for the next generation. Opportunity for advancement is very important to young women. More than 2/3 of women under 30 want to become senior executives. Young women are also even more likely than current female executives to say that flexibility, a company's commitment to well-being, and working towards DEI are increasingly a priority for them. Companies that don't take action may find it difficult to attract and retain the next generation of female leaders, especially because research shows that Generation Z cares more about sustainability than previous generations. In the near future, we can expect even more leaders working on sustainability. In addition to women directly involved in sustainability, environmental and climate change work, women are emerging as change leaders in companies of all backgrounds. Let's discuss how gender parity and environmental sustainability are related. I started with the global theme of equality and equal opportunities to highlight what we are dealing with when discussing women's global contributions. For me personally, it's intriguing mostly in relation to organizations and sustainability goals. To achieve sustainable goals, you may need to view the problem from a different angle, perhaps even to change a mindset in the area of sustainability. This is actually the focus of my It Could Be in training for companies. I will tell about it in details soon. When I talk about a new way of thinking, I am referring to people of all genders. For example, a whole generation of today's young people are now calling themselves the eco-generation, regardless of gender. Women are more empathetic and caring about others, so they are often the ones dealing with sustainability issues in organizations. We have also seen this in McKinsey's study. However, it's important to stress here that women need to be visible in these activities and their work needs to be adequately paid for. In addition, in order to really talk about change, they need to be involved in strategic decision making, for example, in management positions. I think that even when there are objective factors in the form of unequal opportunities, it's women's responsibility to express themselves and their achievements, not to wait for others to notice them. History knows many disadvantaged people who have found a way to participate in things that are important on an equal footing with others, and have opened up that opportunity for the next generations. These are examples not of personal success, but of leadership, when one takes into account the interests of society in his achievements. Therefore, what he does has a meaning beyond his own ambition. I think there are enough categories among men and women in the world as it is. So what matters is what drives a person in his desire to take up a managerial position. If a person is driven by sincere desire to make the world a better place, then the question of career advancement is a question of the common good. In this sense, those women who are marked by emotional intelligence and eco-thinking benefit the company and society by manifesting themselves and getting promoted. And by copying the so-called male model of behavior, there is a danger to bringing nothing new to the table. My personal subjective opinion is that different heroes are now needed to solve environmental problems. We no longer need James Bond, the white man of 40, fearless and knowing all the answers. Unfortunately, when it comes to environmental issues, we do not have all the answers. We are very vulnerable in the face of the problems we have. The new heroes, to my mind, are brave people whose courage lies in thinking and questioning, and in being aware of their vulnerability, but not in hiding from it. New heroes do not hide their feelings, they have enough courage to share their emotions and support others on their journey to a sustainable way of life. We are not looking for someone to blame for the climate crisis, we are looking for a way out of it. The new heroes are not perfect, and that is their strength. Furthermore, on this journey, to my mind, gender is not important. It is instead crucial to think beyond the traditional gender identity at the level of our shared values. Then there can be new opportunities to achieve the goals of sustainable development. Please email me to discuss your opinions or experiences on gender equality or other sustainability topics. And subscribe to my channel. I promise it's gonna be interesting here. See you soon!